Greetings and hallucinations. Almost Halloween time. I can tell by Mel's picture it's almost Halloween time, or that's either that or his bedroom. I'm not sure which.
One and the same.
October the 12th, 2021. And today we are going to talk a little bit about panoramas. I don't know why Tim's here. He does panos all the time.
I'm just checking to make sure you're right.
Well, I'm hoping you'll
Nothing
offer-
better than a fact checker.
Right in the heart, right in the
You see
heart.
me do this.
Hey, speak up. I'm always listening for advice on how to do things gooder. I always need it. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's do desktop to start with. Close that one. Minimize that one. And can y'all see my image in front of me?
Yep.
Picture San Diego. I replayed with this again today just for fun. When I entered it print cop, the judges said that the picture was very soft focused and really tough to judge. So I went through it and looked again. And yeah.
Yeah, at 400%, nothing's gonna look good. You know, that's
You can see two people on the balcony there. Let me take the extras out. So yeah, it's not sharp at all. This is a 5-stitch pano that I did. Did it, what, 3-4 years ago at West Coast School. Our class went out to the bay at San Diego and played and had a good time. So yeah, that's not sharp. I'm sorry. I'm grumpy.
Oh, I was with you on that, Mike.
You were, weren't you?
So was Mel.
I'm going to talk a little bit about panos and what not to do first. I have a pano that I shot back in 2008, long time ago. And you can see I shot the pano in a horizontal mode. Thou shalt not do that. Do it in a vertical mode. You'll get better quality pictures out of it.
Oh.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to open these. You can see, looking at this, these are JPEGs. You can still open them from Bridge in Camera Raw. All you have to do is hit Command or Control R as a shortcut, or you can right click and open in Camera Raw. I always do the shortcut because it's much faster. I'm going to hit Command A, which will select all of the images. So the edit that I do right now will be done to all at one time. And the first thing I do in Camera Raw is I hit auto for my exposure, which gets me a little bit better exposure going on. The highlights I'm going to bring down just a little bit and bring my whites down a little bit just because. And then bring this vibrance up a little bit and the saturation up a little bit so we can get those yellows going from the flowers. This was shot at Halama Beach, which is just outside of beautiful downtown Lompoc. I'm not sure you can get to Halama today because the 101 is closed because of another fire. And I think I'm going to leave, remove chromatic aberrations and use profile unable because it was shot with my point and shoot camera. So all of them have been changed. And I'm going to hit the done button, which got them all selected. And there's a couple different ways to do a pano. The fastest way for me is in Bridge. I've got all 6 of these selected. Go to Tools, drop down to Photoshop. From Photoshop, I will drop down to Photo Merge. Photo Merge is the same as make a pano for me, dude. So I click on Photo Merge. And I've played around with it a little bit. And I've also been told by other photographers, okay, come on, you can do this, that auto is the best way to go. I watched a program from Adobe Max last week. One of the instructors liked spherical for his. I particularly like auto. And depending on how fast you want to do it, I'm going to do it without first, but you have content aware fill transparent areas. When you do a panel, you're going to have areas that just don't line up, and you get some transparent areas on the outside of the panel. I'm going to do it without first because it takes a while to do it. Click OK. Ooh, dust spot. One of the things you'll have with panos, if you're not careful, is a bunch of dust spots. If you have one spot, they're going to be in all the other images. So and now we got to wait for it to blend the layers. For some reason, it gave it different tonal values for all the different layers, so it's going to blend them. And it's now blended. And you can see I have a dust spot here. I have a dust spot here. I have a dust spot here. So if you fix it in one image, you're going to have it disappear right away. And you can see what I've done here. We have the transparent areas on the outside. So if I would have clicked that box, it would have filled them in for me. I wouldn't have had a problem. It made a long pano, which is okay, but it's not as big an image as if you do multiples. The San Diego one that I was showing a little bit ago was 68 inches, I believe, in width. And this one's at 28. So let's close that. Don't save. And we'll go to
You say you shot this with a point and shoot?
my Canon G9 at the
Okay.
time. Here's an image I shot at Sequoia. One of the things that I do when I shoot panos is I will put my hand in front of the lens before I start, and I'll put my hand in front of the lens after the last image. That tells me where the pano is at. Or a lot of times what I'll do is if I have a horizontal image that I shot before, I know that's not the pano, and then I'll just put my hand in front of the lens before the last image so I know where to stop at. Again, you want to make sure that you have all your images looking the same, and we'll just open this up in RAW. These were shot in RAW, so we're okay. Command A to select them all. And again, I'll go to auto, and boom, the trees come out, makes it much gooder. Bring my highlights down, the whites down, so the snow and the clouds are not as bad. And let's bring up the shadows a little bit more just to get the trees going a little gooder. And again, oh wow, there's lots of those little buggers on there. We'll go real quick and just do the really nasty ones. And the cool thing is these are all in the sky or in the clouds. So when you have all of them selected at one time, taking out the dust spots is not going to harm anything. If it was near the trees or near the hills where it's going to cause something to be, oh, what that is, a question mark there, where it's going to blur something, just do the clouds in the sky and then go in by hand and do the rest. And we'll go back up here, close the basic, go to optics, lens profile. I'll shoot with a 28 to 70. I was probably shooting at 28 to get the nice big view. For doing panos, 50 or above is what's recommended. There's another spot right there. I don't care, but you got the message on that. Color mixer. What we can do is click on this target right here, target the blues, And we'll bring the luminance down just a little bit to bring the blues a little bit darker. Saturation, bring the blues up a little bit. And then on the trees, let's go ahead and bring the luminance up a little, just so they're a little bit brighter. And that's affecting all the trees at one time. I'm going to click done, which will, there you go, reset all the images to the colors that I want. Being that I've already done these trees, what I'm going to do is I made them smaller so that it'll go faster for making a pano. Select all 4 images. Better yet, I'll show you the other way to get in there. We'll go into Photoshop, go to File, Automate, Photo Merge. File, Automate, Photo Merge. And that will do basically the same thing, except now you have to go find your files. So I will browse, and I'm in small, which is where I need to be because that's kind of what I did. So I'll select all, click open, content aware fill transparent areas. If you have a vignette on these, you could choose vignette removal. I don't. And all you have to do is click OK. And then wait, and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. This is why I did the small ones, because if we did the larger ones, we'd be waiting a whole lot longer. And you can see that I shot with the wide angle lens because the trees are leaning in on the left a little bit. And you can see the areas that were added in. You see the marching ants on the outside of it. This is the transparent areas that were added in. You can see it added its own layer at the very top that said image file merged, which is all of these merged together. So if I turn it off, that's what it would have come up with without. And that's when it added everything in. So it did everything, and it looks almost natural doing that. Command D to deselect. And I'm just going to flatten this puppy down. And we'll do a crop. And let's do, you know what, I'll just clear the crop altogether. Hit escape. And make it a nice long pano like that. And if you want to bring the trees so they're standing up a little bit better, you can go to your crop tool, go to perspective crop tool. And again, it is set to a blank resolution, blank everything. I'm going to bring the top over a little bit, and you can see that the lines of the crop are going straight with the tree now, and I hit OK. And now the trees on the left are almost standing straight. So you can do a perspective crop. Let me go back out of that so I don't forget. You can do a perspective crop, which will help if you're doing buildings, etc. It's going to save you a lot. Any questions so far? Command W, which is close. D for don't save. I love keyboard shortcuts. As a matter of fact, I think next week we will do keyboard shortcuts as our special deal. Let me see if I put in, I did not. Okay. Let's go to Yosemite. And if you select all, you can see my hand in the last picture there. Like I said, I will put my hand in front to let me know when I'm finished. Obviously, Photoshop doesn't know what to do with that. So I will hit Command or Control and click on it and bridge, and that will get rid of it. Open these puppies up.
Like how many can you put in for a panel? Can you put 10 in, 5?
This one's got 7. You can put in a whole bunch. In fact, you can stack them. So you shoot the bottom row of the trees, go up, shoot just above the trees, and get the images all together. When you're shooting a pano, in fact, let's go ahead and back out of that. When you shoot a pano, you want to overlap as you do it. And you can see I've got a dust spot up there.
How much do you overlap though?
By a third,
Okay.
at least a third. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as I do it, you can see the first one here. Look at this tree on the right there. It's now in the middle. It's on the far right. So I'm overlapping about that much.
Okay.
It gives the computer, now it's on the far left. It gives the computer something to work with. So it can figure out where to stitch it together at.
And I have a question.
Sorry.
So what is the best way to move your body when you're panoing?
Keep it level. I just rotate at the waist and hold my camera at my eye as I go. I try to line up the horizon with a cropping line in my camera so that everything is straight going across. A tripod works wonders, and there are special tools, special tripods for shooting panoramics, which cost a couple $100. I don't invest in that. I just handhold
Mike,
it.
I have one.
Uh-huh.
I hate it. I spent almost $300 and I hate the thing. So.
Do you remember what it's
Work out
called?
your own, method for holding the camera or on a tripod. You'll find it's much more satisfactory and better results.
Good. I'm glad I never did invest in that.
Tim, is that because of the head?
Well, the one that I have will turn, you can turn it preset how far you want it to go. And, it basically, you just push a button and it goes. And you don't have any control over it. So I used it twice. I tried to take it back and I've got a paperweight in my office now.
Put it on eBay and say what a wonderful tool it is. You just don't do panels anymore.
And no returns.
Yeah. As you're shooting these, a couple of things to remember. Number one, turn off your autofocus, because your autofocus will find something and say, well, I'm going to focus on that fish that's in the pond there. Oh, crap. Got to reshoot it. Or turn off your program mode, put it in manual so that your shutter speed doesn't change and your aperture doesn't change. If you change your aperture, your focus is going to change. You change your shutter speed, your lighting is going to change. So you want to try and keep it all within the same thing. And that's probably the hardest thing to remember, is turn off the autofocus. I'm bad at that. And I need my autofocus because I got bad eyes. Okay, in bridge, if you look at the top image that I have, you can see the number 6 there. That tells me there's 6 more that I had selected earlier. So I'm going to click on the 6 and it brings up all 7 images again. So that saves me a lot of work of refinding all these images. I'm going to hit open. We're going to work on these really quick. And I don't see my dust spot. There it is. Let's get rid of my dust spot there. Goodbye dust spot. And I've already gotten rid of one. Command
You don't
A.
have them. Oh, you do have them all.
They're all selected now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's redo that one. It's gone. Okay. And that one and that one. And then obviously we're going to work the images. I want to bring more detail into the clouds. So we'll go into auto. which works wonders. Bring my highlights down, my whites down. Command 0, and there's that puppy. That's a big one. Boom. Goodbye. Thank you. Again, that's in the cloud, so I can get away with doing that one. If it was in the trees, you're going to have to do it after it comes back out. Whoops, I did it again. Okay, bring my highlights down again. Bring my whites back down. I keep doing it. Optics, you want to make sure lens corrections are done. Remove chromatic aberrations.
I will try back. This is Mike Lee. I'm Roland Lee.
And I am going to not work with the colors on there. I'm not too worried about those. Back to basic and bring my saturation up just a little bit just for fun. And dehaze a little bit. And click done. So all these puppies are done. And what we're going to do, instead of opening up the raw files, because I know it's going to take a while, I'm going to show you a way to make the images smaller. I still have these 7 selected. So I'll go to Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor. And I am going to resize to fit. Let's make them 1500 pixels. 1500 pixels, whichever the largest size is, it will make it 1500 pixels. So the height now is going to be 1500. So I'm making this fairly small. I am going to save in the same location. So what it's going to do is it's going to open up a folder called JPEG. And then it's going to put all the images into the JPEG. Quality, I like 10, but I'm going to make it 12. Copyright info 2021 Collins Photography. Hit run. And if everything goes right, you go na 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 na. You got to have music while you're doing this, like photography. And it's going to run through the images really quickly, make them all the same size. And come on, you can do this. You can do it. Should be just about done.
What was this taken at?
This was taken at Yosemite. Beautiful weather day. Early in the morning, we went to photograph from the parking lot to do the usual shot where there's 1,000 people there waiting to get it done. And it ended up so foggy you couldn't see the mountain. Turned to the left and the hill of trees was covered in a shroud of fog. And you can see the trees popping out. Just made a gorgeous black and white image.
Oh,
Okay, you can see that it made the folder JPEG for me. So they're 3.3 by 5, which should be in pixels, 1,000 or 1,500 pixels. So I'm going to Command A to select them all. Go to Tools, Photoshop, Photo Merge. And if everything goes right, came up perfect. I'm going to do the content aware fill transparent areas so I don't have to do any work. Puts them all into layers. Now it's going to blend everything, put them together, make everything perfect for me. And while we're waiting for this to happen, any questions out there?
I work from the raw images, basically the same process.
I normally work from the raw images, but I didn't want everybody to have to wait for me to do the process of the raws. I most happily do raw because there's so much you can do with it down the road. And again, it filled everything in for me fairly nicely. Command D to deselect so you can see there you go. We'll flatten the image down.
So Michael, are you saying that if you shoot like the top half all the way across and then you shoot the bottom half all the way across, that Photoshop is going to know that they're all in the same place and merge them together?
Yes, I am saying that.
But there has to be overlap.
There has to be, I'd say 30% overlap. I don't, Tim, you shoot
I'm
about
at
the same?
least- I'm at least 30%.
Yeah. The more overlap you have, the faster it can process and say, oh, I see where this goes and I see where this goes. And I've had images that just did not come out. It was trying to put something way over to the left that was supposed to be in the middle, and because I didn't overlap enough.
Well, how much can you do? Can you do it in thirds? I mean, can you do like a David Hockney thing?
Yeah, you can break it down as long as you have enough overlap so the computer can say, okay, this is where I need to put these together. And the more you have, the tougher it's going to be. You could do it in portions, do the bottom half first and the top half second and merge them together, or do all, like if you have 5 across the top, 5 across the bottom, do them all. Just go get yourself a cup of coffee and you can brew it while you're waiting, even with the fast computer. So this is how it came out. There was going to be a
Thanks.
comment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to bring this out. I think, to me, that this log fence right here is a little bit of a distraction. And I know how those judges are. Any distraction they have, Tim, that they will go after you on it. Oh, I'm not picking on Tim.
Yes, you are, but that's
Oh,
okay.
yes, I am. Okay.
Not mentioning any names, but
No, I was not. Command Z. So let's go ahead and select the fence. And I'm going to hit my keyboard shortcut F3. F3 is an action that I made. And basically what it does, it expands 3 pixels outward, does a content aware fill, and then it deselects. So it just took care of the fence for me after that.
You're gonna show us that shortcut next week?
We could probably do it again.
Okay,
We've done it a few times and I will be happy to share with anybody that wants it. I'll send them the action, no charge, of course. There's no charge for anything we do. But if you want to donate to my slush fund, you're more than welcome to.
will do.
Command 0 to bring up full screen, F, and then Command R to get rid of the rulers, Command 0 again to bring it up all the way with no distractions in there. Keyboard shortcuts. And if you look on the right-hand side, there's another little Z for zoom. You can see another little hot spot right there. So I'll just lasso it. And then I'll hit escape to get out of the full screen. Go to edit, fill. From 50% gray, I'll take it up to content aware. Color adaptation, 100% opacity, click OK, and it's gone. I could use the clone stamp tool. I could use the healing brush. I just do content aware fill. And that's why I'm on version 2021, is the content aware fill and the content aware stuff in this is just totally amazing. If you go back to CS6, which a lot of people still use, there's no content aware available to you.
What's that in the middle of the, oh, I see, it's just reflection of cloud. It looked like you had some blurriness right there where in the pond and the reflection.
All right, here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the clouds reflecting there.
I have a question before you move off.
Okay.
I was standing right next to you when you did this. You notice that basically the horizon line where the meadow out there into the trees is slightly up.
Uh-huh.
Would you correct that?
Probably should. correct that because it kind of bows in the middle there.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can get this to do it by itself. I'm trying to remember filter. I'm trying to remember where it's at now. There's
Did it liquefy?
it's
what
not
about lens correction, just above.
lens
where you-
lens correction is what I was looking for.
Just go up a little bit. It's right
Duh.
on the camera.
Yeah,
over
there it is. I thought it was under something else. And it may not because it's already been processed. Let's see what happens. Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
Filter,
it's not objectionable, but.
it's enough to drive you crazy a little bit. Let's try geometry. Try automatic, see what happens. No, that's even worse.
So you would be scored down because of that, because it's really,
Yeah.
It's hard to score that down if you haven't been there.
okay. So how do you convince the judges that have never been there?
Well,
Another-
you just have to roll the
Well,
dice. and
that's
see
a
what happens.
great question, Anthony. I had a firefall image that they didn't merit because they didn't think it was real.
Seriously.
Yeah.
As a jury chairman, and I heard that, I would have stopped the judging right on the spot.
If you knew about it.
For them to determine.
Wow.
When I was first starting in photography, I had an image judged at PPGBA. And it was one of the very few I ever entered anywhere because I decided then and there that judging and print comp was not my thing, but I gave it a name. It was a bride and groom photographed under the lights at the Palace of Fine Arts with in the dark. It was pitch black outside. And I gave it a name, Our Love Lights Up the Night, because there were lights on it and the background came out 100% completely white. And I got a really crappy score. And when I went to pick it up, they all asked me how I did it. And I said, you know what? You guys are masters. I'm a beginner. If you don't know, I can't help you. It should have gotten a better score.
What about liquefy?
I just went into Camera Raw and did the aspect on it, which brought it slightly. There's a way to do it. I just need to look it up and I don't want to waste your guys' time while I experiment with it. I'll try to come up with a good answer for you in the near future.
I think you got a better results when you went to raw.
When I did this,
Yeah.
yeah, it stretched it out a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it. I just have to, if you don't do it all the time, anything in Photoshop, if you don't do it all the time, you don't remember the trick. I'm going to have to look it up to figure out how to do it.
Now, Mike, when you did it in Camera Raw, if you look at the top of the image, look what it did to your clouds up at the
Yeah.
top.
So what I would do is I would
You'd have
turn
to
off the
crop
bottom
that.
layer, hit C for crop, and just crop the top out again and the bottom. So you don't notice that it's gone.
That's a great looking photograph though.
That was
So Mike, in the comments, somebody has said that if you go transform warp, it should fix it.
okay.
Transform.
And another question in the chat box is, why do you have a banana in your toolbar?
I tell you what, when we do the keyboard shortcuts, I'll show you the keyboard shortcut for the banana.
So transform, go to
Is it
transform
PO
is
for
what
you?
you're saying?
So we'll do
Transform and then warp.
add a new layer, Command T. I'm sorry, let's go Command J. Add a new layer, Command J is the shortcut. Command T for free transform.
Mhm.
And I could go, actually, let's do this. Edit, transform, warp.
Hmm.
There you go.
And just
There you go.
drag it down the middle a little bit, not too much, just enough to, in fact, what you could do, Command R to add rulers, drag from the top, drag a ruler down. And while I'm transforming, let's go ahead and hit OK. And then Command T. I'm going to drag that horizon,
It doesn't
Just-
have to be absolutely flat. You know,
but it has to be
probably not.
horizontal. The horizon line has to be on or close to it. So let's hit Command Escape out of there.
It's a shame it doesn't do it automatically when you drag your line down.
And when you do, you have the crop tool set up right now. So I'm going to get rid of the horizon line right there. So hit V for move tool, grab that puppy, drag it up, and it's gone. Go back to the crop tool, C for crop, hit the straighten button at the very top. You can see where it's at right next to clear. Hit straighten. And I'm going to drag my horizon line from edge to edge. And that's going to straighten my horizon so it's 100% perfect.
That looks great there.
May still have a little bit of a bow, but from side to side, it's on.
But reality is Mother Nature isn't straight.
Well, especially when you're using a wide angle lens,
Yeah.
which I shouldn't have been, but I did it anyway.
Oh, that looks, see, that looks really respectful.
And who suggested the transform warp?
Marcy Johnson.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. If I had prizes to give away, I would give you a prize, but I don't have prizes to give away.
How wide a
Maybe you
lens
should
did
talk
you
to
use on that,
Miller's.
Michael?
What's that?
How wide a lens did you use?
24 to 70, probably at 24. So I can get this big, huge
Okay.
thing in front of me. Any other questions on this?
Which lens would you have used?
Probably my 70 to 200 at 70, and then stacked up all the different areas together. And you don't have to shoot these in order. You just have to have all the information available to the computer.
Okay.
Although it's easier to shoot them in order. So if you wanted to, what you could do is you could break it down to like that. And I know those lines aren't even, but I'm just dragging them out because I know my camera's not going to be even when I'm shooting with it either. It's not going to be 100% precise, but you could stack it to where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 different shots, and you would have a monster image that would be huge when you blow it up. So you could, each one of those squares could be a shot, and then make sure they overlap, and then your computer will put it together. I may just have to go out and play and try and do that just for fun. Anybody want to come to Idaho with me and we'll go out and shoot one?
Sure.
Sure. You
Any
got
other-
tequila?
Duh.
I'm on my way.
I'm only 4 hours away.
Kevin's a little further. He's about 15, 16 hours.
Hey, I got a Mustang. I could do that.
In the snow.
Okay, any other questions on this one? Going once, going twice. Command W, D for don't save. And then close desktop. Let's go to, let's see, 20. And photos, 2021. And I did not fall leaves. I'm trying to remember what I just shot. Capital night. Downtown Boise Fall. And here is a pano that I did. So we'll put those all together, right? Oops, don't want to right click. I want to go up here to Tools, Photoshop, Photo Merge. These were shot on Sunday. I forgot to put them in my file for today. And a lot of times when you do different things in Bridge and Photoshop, Photoshop 2021 is currently busy with another task. Would you like to cue this command? Yes, I will. You weren't that busy because you did it right away, so quit lying to me. Click OK. I did the content aware fill again. And that's going to take a few minutes. While we're waiting for it, any questions, comments?
You've given me an idea that I'm going to be working again at Snow Valley.
Oh,
So,
cool.
I'm going to do some panos up at Snow Valley.
That would be a great place to do it.
Oh, no, I've been working there this will be my 9th year.
I used to ski there all the time, there in Snow
Oh.
Valley and Snow Summit. I love those two places.
Well, I'm in the marketing department again, so back doing photography, doing the
Good.
shows.
And one of the things to remember is when you're doing a pano, if you have a person walking through the pano, somebody's done this before, I can tell. I heard that laugh.
Oh, yeah.
I actually, on this image, I had a car, a black SUV going across with me, and I just did not see it till I got home. So something to think about, cars and people walking. If you're going the opposite direction of them, you're okay. If you're going the same direction, you might get the same car, that might get the same person in the image multiple times. Might have to take them out.
I do that for fun. See how many times I can put them in.
Well, you can do it intentionally too. That makes for an interesting picture. People go, how'd you do that? Magic. I photoshopped them in every single image. And it's going through the fill process right now. It's already merged. So it's adding my sky in the bottom end for me. And if you have really hard rock going on with the fast beat, it goes much faster on the computer. And you can see again, this is what it added. For some reason, when you get to the middle, it gets a smaller image there, and I don't know why. So Command D to deselect. And let's drop this puppy down a little bit, bring this one up a little bit. And we now have a panel that's definitely ski wobbled. So we'll go to straighten, and I will take this over, or this sign right here, drag across the bottom. That should be horizontal. I know California it may not be, but I know it is in Idaho.
I just thought Boise was built on the side of a hill.
It almost is. It's the city of trees. I did not know that till I got here.
That was just a Jeopardy answer last night.
Was it really?
Yep. This is something about the street and the city that's known as the City of Trees. Learned that today watching Jeopardy.
Wow. It's amazing what you learn before you go on Jeopardy. So here we have another panel. This took all of 30 seconds to shoot because I just rotated at the waist, trying to keep my camera level. Again, try to pick out a spot on the horizon. It's hard here because there's no straight line, but if you can, you want to pick out your spot on the horizon. And here, we'll get rid of that one. And then you can see the different areas that has merged it together and blended. Which is really cool how it works. I couldn't tell you how it works. I just know that it does work. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes it goes really quick. So, okay, here we go. Questions of anybody?
Pretty cool. Thank you. That was cool.
Okay, let me hit the stop recording button.